A very good morning, noon or evening to our honorable principal ma'am, respected teachers, my dear fellow mates, and also my other wonderful viewers. This is Diganta Kashyap, a student of class 10, Happy Convent School, Dhubri, Assam. Today, I, and along with my other group members, hereby stand before you to present a short film on 5 great mathematicians of the world. Hope you will enjoy it. Euclid. Euclid, sometimes called Euclid of Alexandria, to distinguish him from Euclid of Megara, was a Greek mathematician often referred to as the founder of geometry or the father of geometry. He was active in Alexandria during the reign of Ptolemy I, 323 to 283 BC. His Elements is one of the most influential works in the history of mathematics, serving as the main textbook for teaching mathematics, especially geometry. From the time of its publication until the late 19th or early 20th centuries, in the Elements, Euclid deduced the theorems of what is now called Euclidean geometry from a small set of axioms. Euclid also wrote works on perspective, conic sections, spherical geometry, number theory, and mathematical rigor. Although Euclid is a famous mathematician, very little is known about his life. It is believed that he was a student of Plato. Euclid was born around 365 BC in Alexandria, Egypt, and lived until about 300 BC. Euclid's most famous work is his collection of 13 books dealing with geometry called the Elements. They are said to be the most studied books apart from the Bible. Books 1 to 6 deal with plane geometry. Books 7 to 9 deal with number theory. Book 10 deals with orthodox theory of irrational numbers, and books 11 to 13 deals with solid geometry. This set of books is remarkably clear and easy to understand. Theorems are stated, then they are proved. Euclid actually made few discoveries. He did make a few, but very minute ones. His books, the Elements, are based on the works of people before him. The laws of nature abut the mathematical thoughts of God.
There is no royal road to geometry.
Better balance, less pain, and restless leg syndrome.
Archimedes. Archimedes was born around 287 BCE in Syracuse, Sicily, Italy. Died 212 or 211 BCE in Syracuse. The most famous mathematician and inventor in ancient Greece. Archimedes is especially important for his discovery of the relation between the surface and volume of a sphere and its circumscribing cylinder. Archimedes published his works in the form of correspondence with the principal mathematicians of his time, including the Alexandrian scholars Conon of Samos and Eratosthenes of Cyrene. He played an important role in the defense of Syracuse against the siege laid by the Romans in 213 BCE by constructing war machines so effective that they long delayed the capture of the city. when Syracuse eventually fell to the Roman general Marcus Claudius Marcellus. When Syracuse eventually fell to the Roman general Marcus Claudius Marcellus in the autumn of 212 or spring of 211 BCE, Archimedes was killed in the sake of the city.
Mathematics reveals its secrets only to those who approach it with pure love for its own beauty.
Give me but a firm spot on which to stand, and I shall move the earth.
Give me a place to stand and live long enough, and I will move the world.
David Hilbert. David Hilbert was born on January 23, 1862 in Königsberg, Prussia, now Kaliningrad, Russia, and died on February 14, 1943 in Göttingen, Germany. He was a German mathematician who reduced geometry to a series of axioms and contributed substantially to the establishment of the formalistic foundations of mathematics. A substantial part of Hilbert's fame rests on a list of 23 research problems he enunciated in 1900 at the International Mathematical Congress in Paris. The last decade of Hilbert's life was darkened by the tragedy brought to himself and to so many of his students and colleagues by the Nazi regime.
Mathematics knows no races or geographic boundaries. For mathematics, the cultural world is one country.
Sometimes it happens that a man's circle of horizon becomes smaller and smaller, and as the radius approaches zero, it concentrates on one point.
But above all, I wish to designate the following as the most important among the numerous questions which can be asked with regard to the axiom to prove that they are not contradictory, that is, that a definite number of logical steps based upon them can never lead to contradictory result.
Bernhard Riemann. Bernhard Riemann, in full, George Friedrich Bernhard Riemann, was born on September 17, 1826 in Brasilenz, Hanover, and died on July 20, 1866 in Silasca, Italy. He was a German mathematician whose profound and novel approaches to the study of geometry laid the mathematical foundation for Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. Riemann was born into a poor Lutheran pastor's family, and all his life he was a shy and introverted person. In 1862, shortly after his marriage to Elise Koch, Riemann fell seriously ill with tuberculosis. Repeated trips to Italy failed to stem the progress of the disease, and he died in Italy in 1866. If only I had the theorems, then I should find the proofs easily enough.
Greatest strategy is doomed if it's implemented badly.
My beard is better at math than you.
Srinivasa Ramanujan. Srinivasa Ramanujan was born on December 22, 1887 in Erode, India, and died on April 26, 1920 at Kumbakonam. He was an Indian mathematician whose contributions to the theory of numbers include pioneering discoveries of the properties of the Persian function. When he was 15 years old, he obtained a copy of George Skublich-Carr's synopsis of elementary results in pure and applied mathematics. Having verified the results in Carr's book, Ramanujan went beyond it, developing his own theorems and ideas. In 1903, He secured a scholarship to the University of Madras but lost it the following year because he neglected all other studies in pursuit of mathematics. Ramanujan continued his work without employment and living in the poorest circumstances. After marrying in 1909, he began a search for permanent employment that culminated in an interview with the government official Ramachandra Rao. Impressed by Ramanujan's mathematical prowess, Rao supported his research for a time, but Ramanujan, unwilling to exist on charity, obtained a clerical post with the Madras Port Trust. In England, Ramanujan made further advances, especially in the partition of numbers. Ramanujan left behind 3 notebooks and a sheaf of pages, also called the Lost Notebook, containing many unpublished results that mathematicians continued to verify long after his death.
An equation means nothing to me unless it expresses a thought of God.
To present my brains want food, and this is now my first consideration. Any sympathetic letter from you will be helpful to me here to get a scholarship.